My beloved brothers and sisters, many people believe that closeness to Allah must come with comfort, wealth, and companionship. But when we look at the lives of the prophets, the righteous, and those Allah truly loves, we often see the opposite: simplicity instead of luxury, loneliness instead of crowds, and hardship instead of ease. This is not a sign of Allah's neglect. It is a sign of His special care. Allah does not choose everyone for the same test. Some are tested with wealth, others with poverty. Some are surrounded by people, others are placed in solitude. Loneliness and lack are not punishments, they are classrooms where Allah refines the hearts He wants to raise. In isolation, faith deepens. In simplicity, attachment to the dunya weakens. So if you feel alone, unseen, or struggling, do not assume Allah has forgotten you. Sometimes it is precisely because He has chosen you that He removes distractions, comforts, and noise, so your heart belongs fully to Him. Allah tests His chosen with what purifies the heart. Allah does not test His chosen servants to break them, but to cleanse what weighs their hearts down. When a heart is purified, it becomes lighter, clearer, and closer to its Creator. Many people assume that hardship is a sign of rejection, but in truth, it is often a sign of attention. Allah looks at a heart that has sincerity, potential, and depth, and He refines it through tests that remove arrogance, attachment, and dependence on the dunya. Just as fire removes impurities from gold, trials remove what does not belong in the heart of a believer. The test may be painful, confusing, or lonely, but its purpose is mercy. Allah wants that heart to be free of pride, free of false security, and free of reliance on anything other than Him. Through hardship, the heart learns humility. Through struggle, it learns sincerity. Through patience, it learns trust. This is not punishment, this is purification. And once the heart is purified, it can carry a level of faith that comfort alone could never produce. Some hearts are tested because Allah knows they can carry the weight of closeness to Him. Ease does not always reveal who you truly are, but hardship does. When everything is stripped away, the heart shows its true orientation. Does it turn to Allah or does it collapse into complaint? Allah tests His chosen so their hearts turn fully toward Him. These tests expose weaknesses not to shame the believer, but to heal them. Many people carry hidden diseases in the heart. Pride, attachment, impatience, reliance on people, and hardship brings these to the surface. Once revealed, they can be treated. Without tests, these illnesses remain hidden, slowly damaging the soul. Allah, in His mercy, does not leave the heart untreated. He purifies it through experiences that awaken awareness and deepen faith. The pain is temporary, but the purification lasts a lifetime. Poverty, loss, rejection, and loneliness are not random tests. They are precise instruments of purification. Allah knows exactly what kind of test a heart needs. Some hearts are purified through loss because they were holding too tightly. Others are purified through loneliness because they relied too heavily on people. Some are purified through delay because they were becoming impatient. Allah tailors every test to the heart it is meant to cleanse. This precision is mercy. If Allah did not care, He would leave the heart as it is. But because He loves, He refines. Because He chooses, He tests. And because He tests, He elevates. The chosen are not spared difficulty, they are given meaningful difficulty. Difficulty that removes what distracts, weakens, and corrupts the heart. What remains after purification is a heart that knows Allah deeply. Many prophets lived lives filled with hardship, not because they were distant from Allah, but because they were closest to Him. Their hearts were being prepared to carry divine responsibility, truth, and guidance. Allah purified their hearts through rejection, isolation, and struggle so that nothing would stand between them and Him. This is a lesson for every believer. When you face hardship despite sincerity, do not rush to assume rejection. Ask instead what Allah is removing from your heart. Ask what He is teaching you to release. Very often, the pain you feel is the pain of detachment. Something is being pulled away so your heart can belong more fully to Allah. That pain is the sound of purification happening. Purification is rarely comfortable. If it were easy, every heart would accept it willingly. But growth demands friction. Allah knows that ease can sometimes make the heart careless while hardship keeps it awake. When the heart is tested, it remembers Allah more. It prays with sincerity. It calls with desperation. It lowers itself with humility. These moments polish the heart in ways that comfort never could. A heart purified through hardship becomes soft, compassionate, and deeply aware of its dependence on Allah. It no longer judges others easily. It no longer chases status or praise. It becomes content with Allah alone. That is the heart Allah wants. When Allah tests His chosen, He also protects them from spiritual ruin. Excess comfort can distract, harden, and corrupt the heart. Tests keep the heart grounded. They remind the believer of reality, of mortality, of purpose. The heart begins to see beyond appearances and values what truly matters. This clarity is a gift. Many people have everything yet feel empty. Others have little yet feel full. The difference is purification. A purified heart finds richness in faith, not possessions. Peace in reliance, not control. Strength in patience, not dominance. Sometimes the test is long and the heart grows tired. But Allah never purifies a heart without also strengthening it. With every trial comes growth. With every tear comes reward. With every patient moment comes elevation. The chosen may walk a difficult path, but it leads upward. Their hearts are being prepared for a closeness that cannot coexist with arrogance, distraction, or false attachment. Allah removes what would block that closeness. What remains is a heart that is clean, sincere, and steady. Purification also teaches the believer to see Allah's hand in everything. Instead of asking why, the heart begins to ask how it can respond better. This shift brings peace. The believer stops resisting the test and starts learning from it. That acceptance allows the purification to complete its work. A resisting heart suffers more. A trusting heart grows faster. Allah's chosen learn to trust even when they do not understand. That trust is the sign of a purified heart. A purified heart does not depend on circumstances to feel secure. It depends on Allah. Whether in ease or hardship, it remains anchored. This stability is rare and it is earned through trials. Allah does not give it cheaply. He refines the heart again and again until it can carry this level of faith without breaking. This is why the chosen often endure more. Their hearts are being prepared for more. Do not envy the ease of others when your path feels heavy. You do not know what Allah is protecting you from or preparing you for. Your test is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of care. Allah sees potential in your heart that you may not yet see yourself. He is shaping it with wisdom, patience, and precision. In the end, Allah tests His chosen with what purifies the heart, because a purified heart is the greatest treasure a believer can possess. Wealth fades, people leave, and life changes, but a heart cleansed by Allah remains firm. That heart carries light in darkness, peace in hardship, and hope in uncertainty. And that is a gift far greater than comfort. Poverty weakens attachment to the dunya. Poverty is often misunderstood as a curse, but in many cases it is a shield Allah places around the hearts. He wants to protect. When wealth is limited, attachment to the dunya weakens naturally. The heart is no longer distracted by excess, competition, or constant comparison. Instead, it learns simplicity, gratitude, and reliance on Allah. A heart surrounded by luxury can easily forget its purpose, but a heart living with little remembers Allah often. Poverty strips away illusions of control and reminds the believer that provision comes only from Allah. This reminder is powerful. It humbles the soul and realigns priorities. When you own less, your heart clings less. And when your heart clings less to the dunya, it opens more fully to the akhirah. This is why many of Allah's chosen lived simple lives. Not because Allah could not give them wealth, but because wealth might have taken their hearts away from Him. The dunya is attractive, loud, and deceptive. It promises comfort but often delivers anxiety. Wealth can create the illusion of security, making the heart rely on possessions rather than the provider. Poverty removes that illusion. When there is little to lean on, the heart leans on Allah. That dependence is not weakness, it is clarity. the believer begins to see that real security was never in money, status, or possessions. It was always in Allah's care. Poverty trains the heart to detach from what fades and attach to what remains. This detachment is not bitterness, it is freedom. The heart no longer measures its worth by what it owns, it measures it by its relationship with Allah. Many people chase wealth believing it will bring peace, but peace does not come from abundance, it comes from contentment. Poverty often forces contentment upon the heart. It teaches patience when desires are unmet and gratitude for even the smallest blessings. A heart that learns gratitude in poverty becomes rich in faith. It appreciates what others overlook. It finds joy where others feel entitled. This spiritual richness is far greater than material wealth. Allah knows that some hearts would be corrupted by excess, so He protects them through limitation. What appears as loss to the world is often mercy in disguise. The prophets themselves lived lives of simplicity. They experienced hunger, scarcity, and hardship, yet their hearts were the richest of all. This teaches us that closeness to Allah does not require wealth. In fact, wealth can sometimes distance the heart if it becomes a distraction. Poverty removes layers of attachment that wealth builds. It teaches the believer to live lightly in this world, knowing it is temporary. When the heart stops clinging to the dunya, fear of losing it disappears. That freedom brings peace. The believer walks through life without being enslaved by possessions or status. Poverty also weakens arrogance. When a person has little, pride has no place to hide. The heart becomes humble, aware of its dependence on Allah and the kindness of others. This humility softens the soul. It increases compassion. It makes the believer gentle and understanding.